Yeah, I've seen that too. First word. Just two.
That's the kind of thing that gets you.
Now he's also got an That's another year that QB1 to an extent.
He bet that on something. Once again, I'm going to give you my take from upstairs. The best thing that happened is over the Packers on but they've got a chance. I don't think Danny and
Go ahead and start with an opening statement from Coach, and then we'll jump into questions. So we'll start when you're ready, Coach.
Ryan, let me shut that door, please. Ryan, shut that door, please. All right, I'm going to start by saying this. I'm not a politician. I don't act to be a politician, nor do I want to be a politician. But I do feel like, as the University of Minnesota and a football coach, you represent a lot of people. We've been through a demonic tragedy over the past few days, and that's felt by every single person in our city, in our state. I'm a husband and a father first, so are our coaches. Our players are sons, and I think I speak for everyone when we say that our thoughts, our hearts, our prayers are with every single family that is going through an unthinkable, horrific tragedy, unimaginable. And there's way more important things than football. And I've stood before all of you and continue to say there's way more important things than football without this. But we were the first team, I think, to play since that. We talked to our team about the tragedy. We said that we're playing for so many more people than just our locker room and our fans. We're playing to give hope to people for maybe a minute. That's what Row the Boat's all about. Row the Boat is about putting your oar back in the water and rowing, and that's what this community and this state has always been about. And that's why I've fallen in love, and Heather has fallen in love with this community and this state. And it's unthinkable to know what those families are going through. And I'm sure that this doesn't make anybody feel any better. But I truly hope that we brought a little glimpse of hope with our backs against the wall to our city, where they could exhale for a minute and smile with a Gopher football win. It is the smallest thing right now. Even in the locker room, I told our players, even our win, we're 1-0, smallest thing we're thinking about right now. We're thinking about every single person involved in that tragedy, every family member, not just moms and dads, but grandmas and grandpas, aunts and uncles, friends, relatives, neighbors. It's unthinkable. And there's a lot that has to be done. Again, I'm not a politician, nor do I act as one. But there's a lot of things that need to happen and should happen. And we need to hold people accountable to make sure that happens. These are our kids. So I'll leave it at that. And just know that we're thinking about all of you. Football, I'm really proud of our football team. That's a really good Buffalo team. That's a team that will probably go out and win the MAC, and you're going to have a lot of questions, but you look at the adversity we faced and our back against the wall and a lot of young players, and some of them didn't play particularly well at the beginning or executed at a high level. Because at the halftime I said, we're playing pretty good football. We're actually playing really good football, and then something would happen. And it set us back. Our guys would come right back. And so you're talking about game one, finding out a lot about the character of your football team. That's what game one's about. finding the character of your football team. And I saw a lot of character with our football team tonight. That was a really good opponent we played and to start game one. And when I played in the league, I've coached in that league, and you come in, this is their Super Bowl. And we got everything that they had. And they showed us all types of things they didn't do before. They threw everything at us. And for a young freshman quarterback to process that on offense, and for our defense to play as well as they did, that's a credit to our team and our special teams. I thought our special teams played outstanding. So I'm sure you have a lot of questions. I'm really excited to be 1-0. Again, way more important things right now than football. I'm going to make myself very clear. But I'll answer your questions.
PJ, you talked about kind of closing out games throughout preseason. I imagine that nearly 10-minute drive is kind of the epitome of what you want to see.
You've been around me a long time, Andy. 9.5-minute drive is in the first since. Didn't somebody say something?
We didn't have that one, I'm sorry.
They're throwing all these things on the radio at me, and it must not have been one. 9.5-minute drive is Gopher football in 4 minutes. Now, again, if we have a 4-minute one, at one point you're like, well, it wasn't 9.5 minutes. That was Gopher football at the end. And our O-line taking over, tight ends taking over, and Drake on third down throwing completions to keep moving the chains. Because it was all going to come down to 3-4 first downs in a row to end the game. And we ended the game on offense. That was the challenge to everybody up front, and I thought they accepted the challenge. So really proud of our offensive line. Coach Callahan, Darius Taylor ran his heart out tonight. But here's the thing about Darius. Darius is a really good player. But Darius was sitting here. Darius is going to tell you he's going to have to get – he missed a few runs. And he's going to get better at that. He's only been playing tailback for about 3 years. And he's going to keep getting better. But he's made some huge plays for us. Love when the ball's in his hand in 4 minutes. The best play maybe of the day was after the ankle kick up, interception. After that, you're sitting there going, wow, is tonight our night? Because when things like that happen, you're like, wow. As Garrett says, he goes, whoa. And Darius runs all the way down the field and tackles him. And what happens? Field goal. Instead of 6, field goal. That's how. That's Gopher football. That's the heart, the spirit, and the unconquerable will of this football team. And that was on display from an offensive player becoming a defensive player. So I'm really proud of our offensive line. I thought that drive was really, really key.
BJ, did you feel your defensive line right away set the tone on that side of the ball?
They sure did. They're relentless. From Devin Eastern to Jalen Logan, Redding, Jackson Howard, Anthony Smith, they're relentless. I thought Rashawn Lawrence had some really big plays in there today. I thought our linebackers were flying all over the place. Our secondary did a really good job. The one play that got out, and Kerry just bites on a bender at the double move. We knew they were going to run it at some point. Kerry Brown's a phenomenal football player. And then he makes 4 plays out of the next 8 after that. So, that's going to happen in football. But the response is what I'm concerned about, and I thought we did a tremendous job of that.
Did Drake Lindsey's composure tonight in his first start surprise you at all?
No, didn't surprise me at all. His composure, Ryan, is the exact same as I saw in a state championship football game when it's a nail-biter and it's going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The only one that was a little anxious was Amy, his mom, and just every play was holding on for dear life. Not that kid. He is a cool customer. Wants the ball, understands situational football. He learned a lot of things that you can and cannot do today. You can't take a sack in the green zone there. You got to throw the ball away. But he's so coachable. Our best players are the most coachable people. And when we talk about developing talent, great people become really great players. I believe in that. And that's what this program is. We're going to create great people, recruit great people, and then they'll become better players. And I think Drake Lindsey's a great example of that. His composure and his poise. Not only that, his processing information was at a high level. He made some really good throws today. And then he made a throw or two. They were like, hey, you're not going to be able to throw that again. How was honeymoon, Pierre?
Great.
That's it? Great.
Amazing.
All right.
You guys were able to get
Some of us been working, you know what I mean, Andy? Some of you guys been working around here. Guys been on the beach. Thanks for coming back.
I bleed for
And you get the next question.
Thank you, Coach. Well, my next, I guess I'd say, you're using Darius, you line him up in kind of wildcat format. We haven't really seen that before. Is that something that we could potentially be seeing more of in the future?
Yeah, I think you can see a lot more of that. You can see a lot of other things, too. What we have is there's a lot of guys. Look at a guy like Jalen Smith tonight. He's playing in his first football game. And some things went well. Some things didn't go so well. right? And when you're a guy, it's different going out there for running 4 run plays to run out a game last year. We're talking about like real football, and there's some things he's going to keep getting better at, but I think he showed what he can do, right? And now we just got to continue to get better at those things. You look at like Javon Tracy, a new player on this team. We're only going to keep getting better as the time goes on because of how hard these guys work. And but you're going to see a bunch of other stuff. I mean, Coy played some snaps on offense, but we needed him a lot on defense again today too. And we were going to do some other things, but they did some other things on defense, which kind of changed that a little bit.
You had Max around tonight. What's a good example of how he rubbed off on Drake? I think
They became really, really good friends. And I think there's a difference between being cool and working. Max never led by being cool. Max led by the work, the sacrifice, the discipline, the dedication, the leadership. That was his deal. And I think that showed Drake what it looked like. And Drake's a really young player. Drake's mature for his age, but he's still a freshman. But that showed, and I think that helped speed up his maturity level. I mean, Max Brosmer got a game ball in the locker room, and he shows up in a Drake Lindsay jersey. Nobody's happier for Drake than Max. And you can see whether it was New Hampshire or whether it was the University of Minnesota and what's going to happen with the Minnesota Vikings, that kid leaves his imprint, and he leaves his legacy everywhere he goes. And that's not – it's going to keep happening in his life. And I think we all got a chance to watch that over the 6-week training camp with the Vikings. And everybody who covers us, I told you, this dude's going to play a long time in the NFL. And the longer he sticks around, the more they're going to like him. And what did he do? Longer he stuck around, made the team. But him celebrating that locker room with us, that's what this whole thing's about. Dragon's back. Crawford was back today in the locker room. It's just our alumni. Coney Durr was in our facility the other day. I mean, this is what it's all about. This is what that cultural sustainability can create. And really, really proud of Max and what he's accomplished because, he's been doubted his entire life. And there's one thing I would never, ever do is doubt that young man.
You guys were able to mix a lot of different skill players and get into a lot of different formations and groupings. How much does that open up the schematic possibilities for you guys this year?
Well, we knew we wanted to do a lot of different things tonight and see what we're good at, see what we're not so good at, see what needs to be cleaned up. But Buffalo was pretty standard on film. Tonight they were not standard. Blitzing from everywhere, playing bare fronts. I mean, they're moving all over the place. Their stunt game was crazy. Coverages, they were mixing up more than they normally did. They usually kind of sit in cover 3. It was very, very different. And, I thought our coaches did a really good job adjusting to it. It just felt like we could never put the game away. We were one play away from putting it away one time, then another play from putting it away, and then another play. And I think that was maybe the disappointing piece of it was we were that close from making that a different game. But I'm glad it didn't go that way because as coaches, you got so much to coach from. And as players, I said this to them before, whether it was 3rd and 30, Georgia Southern right out here, and then the 4th and 13, whether it was South Dakota State, winning by a touchdown, Rashad Bateman's one-handed catch, whether it was Fresno State coming down the wire here and there with Antoine Winfield Jr. picking that ball off. These games are hard. It's hard to win. Looking around the MAC and Big Ten schools tonight. I mean, I got a chance to see some, and when the final of the game was, we were looking at the ticker. I mean, some close games. There's some good football teams. And you just truly don't know what you're going to get until you play game 1. And we have a lot of data. Our team is really, really excited to be 1-0. We're humbled to be 1-0. And now we got to go get better.
PJ, I know Danny's called bowl games before, but what stood out to you with him calling first game as a defensive coordinator?
He's acted like he's done it for 50 years. He's so poised on the headsets. He knows what he wants. He's a great communicator. He's a great teacher. He's really good with the staff. When you're on the headset and you're listening to Danny when they're over on the benches, I mean, it's a clinic. It's a clinic. And he's a phenomenal football coach. And I'm glad he's our defensive coordinator. And, just to be able to have it happen, the defense running out there after that interception and, just making them lose yardage. That's impressive. We got a lot to get better at. We're going to get some guys back. We have some guys that are out right now. We're going to get some guys back. But I'm glad we have a few extra days as we keep going forward here. So rest up and go at it again.
What was your assessment of your special teams tonight?
Sorry, I'm maybe a little dehydrated. Bob Ligashevsky got a game ball in our team room, in the locker room, because new kickers, new punters, special teams played tremendous. We weren't able to return many punts. I thought their punter did a really good job of flipping some stuff. We flipped field position. I thought that was really critical. But I thought that, 3 for 3 in field goals, which are absolutely huge with a new kicker, only builds his confidence as he moves forward, new holder. I watch Bob work, and I watch how the kids respond to Bob. They love Bob. We do our senior speeches, and when the specialists get up there, the relationship is really deep with Bob Ligashevsky. He's been around. He's been to so many NFL teams. He's got so much experience. He's a wonderful human being, and he definitely deserved one tonight.
Two more for Coach.
How important is it to see such a young roster, young quarterback, bounce back from drops and bounce back just the way that they did, the receivers and Drake too, just not letting it bother them. Jalen Smith shows up later after the early start.
It's what Road Boat's all about. It's a great question. It's the response. You can't do anything about the result of the last play. You got to respond. No play will beat you twice. You can't allow that to happen. And that's what I saw in the young players today. But the poise on their face. Nobody ever had bad body language. Nobody was ever discouraged. There's a difference between being disappointed. I want you to be disappointed. You don't catch a ball and you drop it. I want you to be disappointed. But I want you to want to get the next one. I want to see that in your body language. I want to see that in your eyes. I want to see it. I want to feel it. And I felt it in all of them today. I felt that feeling, whether it was Jalen Smith, whether it was Javon Tracy. We talked at halftime like we had to go attack that football in the second half, whether it was our tight ends. And I thought they responded to that. We're only going to keep getting better that way. Our teams get better as the season goes through because we just continue to practice and develop. We're very transparent with our players, and I expect nothing but nothing less than us to continue to improve in those areas. And they're going to, you won't be able to tell whether we won or lost when we go over this film tomorrow. That's for sure. And we'll get better at it, and those guys will see what they have to continue to improve on.
PJ, you've been doing this a long time. This is the first game. How do you not react, either overreact, underreact to just the first game of data?
Yeah, it's one game. It's not just, I don't look at it, Ryan, as like the first game versus the 7th game. I don't look at it versus like 14th versus the 6th. You have one game of complete proof data in a game. You take it exactly for what it's worth. What I tell our coaches when we watch film as a staff, I said, listen, data is jumping off the screen of what this team can and what they're not capable of doing yet. We as coaches have to listen to that. We got to highlight more of what they can do, and then we got to make the things that we're not so good at way better. And then sometimes if they're not really good at all, you got to throw it out. And then you just continue to funnel that as the season goes on. But it's game one. We were 1-0. That game is over. We are going to dissect it as best we possibly can, and then we'll flush it. We'll take all that data. We'll learn from our past to create our future. We'll plug it in, and we'll go to game 2 and hopefully play a way better game in game 2 than we did game 1.
Any more for Coach? All right, thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Row the boat, Sky Yamago, Gophers. Thanks for sticking around. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
I haven't often seen you speechless. That hits you like a 12-6 curve right down the middle. Couldn't even wait for that.
I just moved my hand. I don't know if he thought I was like raising my hand. I think I just moved my hand. I think he shot my hand. He was like, what? He's driving. Eric, I've got some allergies. Oh.
He's on the beach for 2 weeks.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Oh dear. As long as we can make it up there.
Since he's gonna make this thing a game, boy.
We'll start with these two, and then we'll
What's up, guys?
What was the message from Danny coming in tonight? Because it seemed like from the opening series, physicality on the defensive line was something that seemed emphasized.
Yeah, we went into the game, we were looking to play a full game, 60 minutes of violent football, and that was our goal, attack every rep and be as violent as we can, and yeah. That's in our DNA, that's what we need. Our defense, havoc defense, you know? So, again, like Dylan said, 60 minutes of hell, so that's what we planned on doing, and we executed.
What did you see on that first third down where you pressed the left tackle into the lap, and what's the celebration we got going on now?
You know, I was just super thankful that I got the sack. You know, pass rushing at University of Minnesota is a privilege. So, you know, every single pass rush that I get, I'm just so grateful and happy that I can just pass rush the way I can. I got people around me. I got safeties. I got DBs that can cover for days. And I got D linemen that can also hold and cage the quarterback. So, again, I was just thankful that I got home. And I was happy. It's football. It's fun.
You guys are two veterans. How is Danny different than previous coordinators and the way he goes about things on game day?
I would say the FBI, football intelligence, he definitely makes us learn a lot more about what's happening on the back end. Like, it makes us better players to go into the NFL. And definitely, like, being a young guy, knowing, like, if you're a D lineman and knowing what's going on in the back end, oh, yeah, I can do some extra stuff with that. So, again, just having the football intelligence of knowing what's going on overall over the field and, like, even on the offensive side, knowing like what the wide receiver is going to do. Like if I can check his split as like a defensive end, see his split that I can, oh, he's going to come crack me. So like he's going to come crack down on me. That's really special to have.
Yeah, not only the football intelligence, but he does a really good job bringing the energy. You know, we want to go out there and we want to play for Danny Collins. You know, he brought in the havoc defense, and that's one thing we've been harping on a lot. So.
Buffalo got the lead down to 13-10 and then got the ball back. What was the message out there for you guys when that happened?
Just respond. That's how Minnesota is. I mean, you just got to respond. Adversity is going to happen, but you just have to respond from that and change your best. So that's all that we really do is in our DNA. It's response.
It's always going to be that bad play. You can't play a perfect game, but it's about how you play the next play and how you respond from the negativity. So.
There were ebbs and flows in the game. You guys just kind of kept chipping away. What does that say? You know, how does it epitomize the mentality overall of this team and the mindset?
You know, we're just hard workers. We bring our lunch pails to work every single day, and you know, some games might not be the prettiest, but we'll be there. And again, we brought our lunch pail to work, and we're just gonna go work every single play, every single day.
Yeah, and regardless if we're up or not, you know, the goal is every play havoc defense. So. You know, we're going to bring it whether we're down or winning or whatever's going on the field.
What was your reaction from the defense when Darius Taylor makes that touchdown saving stuff?
I mean, yeah, he's a great player. The offense is a great offense. You know, they're out there eating the clock up. It keeps us off the field. It keeps us healthy. It gets us our energy back. So those boys do a really good job what they do, and I'm very thankful for them.
Yeah, that last 9 minutes was crazy. Shout out to the offense. Those O linemen, that's 9 minutes of straight inside zone stretch. That's hard to do, and that's really special. That's RTB, run the ball. So love that.
Guys, Buffalo was 1 of 11 on third down. What is perhaps in your mind the key to playing good third down defense to prevent them from extended drives the way they were able to do tonight?
Just working together. Defense, the D-line has to work with the back coverage, and the back coverage has to work with the D-line, and then everybody in between. And at the end of the day, that's what's really special about this team. We're so connected that we know what's going on. I can look at Mav or Kerry Brown, and hey, get home, and he's going to cover for days. So, again, I've been harping on it like the whole entire offseason about how connected this team is, and it just shows on the field, and it's fun. Real.
Any more? First games are a bit of a challenge, you know, just to get ready for because there's a lot of unknowns. How impressive is it to just see the coaching staff be able to identify what's going on, communicate the changes, and then you guys implement it fast?
I mean, yeah, we got really good coaches here, and not only can they do stuff like that, but we had a really good game plan as well. So just showing up, doing my job, you know, being violent, bringing that havoc defense, and then when I'm being coached, you know, responding from the coach, we're coaching, you know. There's never no gray area with our coaches, you know. They tell me one thing, I trust them, and I'm going to do it, and they're going to trust me to do it, so.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Well, Drake, Lindsay, in your hand.
Oh, this thing's getting interesting. Since he's at the Nebraska 33 and driving. Oh, when he got sick in the end zone. Nebraska wins. Since he's not taking out the chance. I don't think, well, since his win total, 6.5? Around that, yeah. That's not a good ACC team, or AAC. Is that what they are? No, they're in the Big 12.
Drake, take a seat in the middle. Drake, Lindsay. Once Drake takes a seat, we'll go ahead and get started.
What's up, guys? Drake, what was it like going into the game knowing it was your first start?
Felt really good, had all the coaches behind me, all the players believed in me. Was really confident in the game plan, prepared really well, so it felt really good though.
What was the message from Harbaugh after the game?
A win is a win. We played well, but the execution's got to be better, and he told me it's a good win. It's a good first taste of college football, but we got to keep getting better.
When you saw that Max was wearing the Drake Lindsay Gopher jersey on the sideline, what did that mean to you, and what did Max have to say today?
Yeah, he told me he was gonna wear it. We went to dinner last Saturday. He told me he was gonna wear it, which was pretty cool. He's awesome, man. But it meant a lot that he was here and got to witness my first start. So that was awesome.
Can you take us through your touchdown pass at Jalen?
Jalen, yeah. So I did the return motion with the tight end. Saw the pressure that they were bringing all night. Alerted the O-line to it. DT had a great pickup. Dylan Ray got the end by me, and then I just stepped up, and he was right in my vision. They were just playing hot coverage behind it, and he was wide open, so I just had to give him a good ball, and then he did the rest.
Have you ever had an interception go off the bottom side of a cleat before?
I have not. That was a wild experience. Great play by the guy, but I mean, I've never seen something like that. It's a wild experience when that happens to you, when it's something that's you never expect things like that to happen. So just gotta keep the ball out of harm's way.
How do you shake that off or shake off like the drops or adversity that come throughout the game and maintain composure, especially your first start here and everything like that? How do you stay calm, cool, and collected in the
Yeah, I think you have to as the quarterback. Everybody's always looking to you. You got to have good command of the offense, and I thought I did a great job of that tonight. Didn't get a few fourth downs, missed on those that we got to clean up and get those. But I thought overall the offense did a great job. We just got to keep getting better. And I mean, shout out the defense; they played a heck of a game.
What did it mean for you guys to see you put together a 14, 15, 16 play drive there at the end after last season? That was one of the issues.
Yeah, that was unreal. I don't know if I've ever experienced or seen a 10-minute, 4-minute drive. Because I looked up at the clock right when we stepped in the huddle, and I was like, hey, guys, let's end the game on offense. And when I said it, I was like, I'm delusional, like how we talk about in our program. But it was like a good delusional, and everybody, I mean, it was one play at a time, man. And the O-line really, I mean, that's a shout-out to the O-line, Coach Callahan, the running backs, tight ends, receivers. I mean, they blocked their butt off, and, I mean, that's really big time. That's a great way to finish the game, so.
Drake, Buffalo threw a lot of different things at you tonight, maybe that you guys weren't anticipating. What helped you adjust so fast in game?
I think it's the constant communication with Coach Harbaugh and Keegan. I mean, they're constantly talking to me when I come off on the sideline. We weren't expecting a lot of the stuff they threw at us, and that defense coordinator did a great job. There wasn't really anything that I saw on tape that they did tonight. I mean, everything was completely different. Their pressure tendencies, I mean, they didn't pressure at all last year, and they pressured, I mean, a lot tonight. So I wasn't expecting that, but you got to react and trust on your playmakers and trust on your offensive line and running backs. So it's just constant adapting and continuing to get better for sure.
How important was Javon Tracy's catch breaking all those tackles?
Yeah, that was an awesome start to the second half. When Harbaugh called that play, I mean, that concept worked for us previously to him, the same exact play. And when he was getting through there, I thought he was tackled, and then he spit out. And when you watch his Miami tape, Miami of Ohio, I mean, he was doing the same stuff there. He's an unreal playmaker. We just got to keep getting him the ball and let him get in space.
This is your first start, big win. What is the thing you'll remember most about this game day when you look back?
I think just the overall poise our offense had going into the first game. I think a lot of teams can get kind of jittery and be uptight, and I thought we did a really good job. And Harbaugh had a really good message yesterday to the team, to the offense. And I mean, I think we came out really ready to play and really prepared. But we just gotta keep getting better and change our best.
You got the ball to Coy right away.
Yeah.
What did he bring to that your offense when he was in there?
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely feel a little spark when he's in the huddle. See number 3. I mean, he's a playmaker. We got to continue to get him involved, and he's going to do special things, and he's a special playmaker.
What was the message to Jalen Smith? He had a couple early drops, but you obviously connected him for the long touchdown.
Yeah, I think you can't ever bring someone down too much. Drops are going to happen. I'm going to miss a throw. Someone's going to miss protection. Mistakes are going to happen. It's bound to happen in this league, and it's just an encouraging, serious talk. Like telling him, hey, I'm going to keep throwing the ball his way, and he's going to make that catch next time. Kind of communicating that to him, and it was his first start, and it's my first start. So I think it's going to be a great connection that we build, and he's a tremendous playmaker. So just got to keep getting him involved.
Trace, now that it's all over, especially your first game,
Yeah.
when you just think back, and I know it just ended, but when you think back, how do you feel like you went through the reads, felt the speed of the game, adjusted at this level of speed? Just how did it all kind of process for you?
I would say it felt really natural. I would say one of the things that God blessed me with from high school, it always felt really just natural for me to go out there and just relax and play easy. And I think that's a blessing to my parents, my family, but also God. There's not many things you can teach you, just be relaxed. And I got to watch Max last year do that, and it's a blessing to be able to have that. And I think constant preparation helps me with that, knowing exactly going into the game what I think their defense is going to do and what they do, and then adjusting to that on the fly. But and trusting your playmakers and your offensive line. I think I have one of the best offensive lines in the Big Ten and in the country, and just got to keep building them up, and they're going to keep making plays.
Any more for Drake? All right. Thank you, Drake.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
Best part of Thursday game, Thursday game. How are you doing? Here we go. Here we go. I'm gonna hang with Paul and Carl. We'll see you around. Yeah, thank you. Best part of Thursday game, I get through Thursday game. Well, then you have the weekend.